Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies and gents, have you heard that song? I'm so proud of being loved by you. Well, we ain't gonna be playing none of that today, y'all. Minnie Rippleton and Michael Jackson, ladies and gentlemen. I know you didn't think it was possible, but yes, it was. Michael actually sang with somebody who knew how to sing. Yeah, that's right. Didn't happen a lot, but this time he did. That's Michael Jackson and Minnie Rippleton in the background, ladies and gentlemen. We wanted to talk to you guys about this case. Many of y'all know about the Credit River case. I want y'all to pay attention to what happened here. Okay? This case has profound meaning other than what you were told in the past. I promise you, I guarantee you, I promise you. This case was had at common law. This case, because it was had at common law, it stripped the administrative court of any jurisdiction. Why are you saying that? Because they had this in a store basement. Okay? Watch this. Now, see, they call it amendments, but as I told you, it's not amendment because remember the so-called Confederate Constitution, they say they abolished by amending it. So they're called constitutional amendments, but when you look at it, they're called articles. Okay, now pay attention. In suits at common law, please understand, you got the common law and the common law. So they mention it twice to make sure you know what they're talking about. Common law has its own rules. What are the rules of common law? Interesting, ain't it? Not the rules they have of the court. Their rules of court are foundationally based on common law, but they're not common law. Now, hold on. Let's pay attention to this so you get it. Where the value and controversy, you're going to find out that case was about value and consideration, which is a contract. Value and controversy, contract law, shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved. In other words, you don't have to announce I want a jury trial like they keep saying. We done told y'all that already. All right, we're going to skip any fact tried by jury. We're going to make sure in any court of the United States, common law exists throughout the United States, not in just one state. Do you understand that? So when you hear this, that certain states don't recognize common law, that's because you haven't gone into the right court. Okay? Then according to the rules of common law. So let's find out why they had it in a store basement. As we showed y'all, they had a courthouse in Minnesota in Scott County at that time. But let's find out what Mr. Morgan, like JP Morgan, but this ain't that JP, this ain't that Morgan, but he is a banker. His name is Morgan. Morgan admitted that all of the monies or credit which was used as a consideration was credited upon their books. That this was standard banking practice exercised by their bank in combination with the Federal Reserve Bank. This is the standard practice exercised by all banks. Another private bank. The Federal Reserve is a private bank. Of course they are. It's been admitted on record. They cannot get rid of this. This is precedent-setting case law, people, in common law. Let's continue. Further, he knew of no United States statute or law that gave the plaintiff, the Morgan Bank, his so-called First National whatever, any authority to do this, to create money on their own books. That's why banks cannot lend their own credit. That's where you get that from. They can't lend their own credit. The plaintiff further claimed that the defendant, by using the ledger, book created credit, and by paying on the note or the mortgage, waived any rights to complain about the consideration, and that the defendant was stopped from doing so. See, they waived their rights by signing the documents. Ladies and gentlemen, the argument is because I thought they were lending me money. I didn't know they were lending me credit. As a matter of fact, if I had known they were lending me credit, there's no way in the world I would ever have gone through with this. They told me they were giving me a loan, not a loan of credit, but a loan of money. They put the dollar sign next to it. The dollar sign equated to US dollars. That's what that sign symbolizes. So they lied to me, violating the Truth in Lending Act. You feel me? This is Anthony Hamilton and Leila James. We're going to minimize them at the bottom right here. Ladies and gentlemen, are you understanding what I'm trying to tell you your argument should be? This whole case was about one thing. I want you to see this word right here. Consideration. Every contract involves consideration. Just look at how many times you see the word consideration appear. This is what this case was about. That's what the judge and the jury determined, that the bank had not given any consideration. They were required to give consideration with the loan. That is called a simple contract. Go back and look up the principles of a simple contract. The jury returned their verdict. Now, this is what I want you to pay attention to, because many of y'all will not get this, but I want y'all to understand this right here. Okay? Just want y'all to pay attention. By virtue of the authority vested in pursuant to the Declaration of Independence. This was in 1968, people, that this was, well, see? That the sheriff described in a cell, the premises held, blah, 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 null and void and of effect. Okay, so this was 1968 that this was done, ladies and gentlemen. In 1968, guess what it was determined? That the authority of the Declaration of Independence, but I thought they suspended the Constitution. Thought the Declaration of Independence had no bearing, no value. Hey, what's the Northwest Ordinance of 1787? You know what? We're going to look that up because it's in here, and I'm curious because I'm referencing that in my case, because this is going to be my main precedent-setting case law, because I'm not using any of statutes. Statutes ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Okay. Northwest Ordinance adopted July 13, 1787 by the Second Continental Congress chartered a government for the Northwest Territory, provided method of admitting new states into the Union from the territory, and listed a Bill of Rights guaranteed in the territory, the Constitution, evolution of government. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, it started in those northern states first before it traveled to all the other states. So by all means, you better adopt this ordinance just the same as that judge adopted the ordinance into his order. You better do it. Why? Because it applies to all states. Because remember, it dealt with the admittance of other states. This is ourdocuments.gov. So this is a government document. They're going to need for me to disconnect from the internet. So hold on, y'all. I'm a disconnect them. This is my NordVPN because we got to travel, y'all. All right, let's go here again. Did you hear her? She said, say it if you mean it. Is that like smoke them if you have them? I don't think that's the same thing, ain't it? She just said, say it if you mean it. Well, mean it if you said it. You know what I'm saying? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the ourdocuments.gov. This is a We the People government-sponsored website. In other words, this site, .gov, you can't just go get you a .gov address, ladies and gentlemen. You ain't got the right. Officially titled an ordinance for the government of the territory of the United States northwest of the river Ohio. The Northwest Ordinance was passed July 13th, and I want to see what the ordinance actually says. I don't want to see all that junk. Where's my Northwest Ordinance? All right, give me the free printed version. The Northwest Ordinance adopted July 13th in Congress Northwest. Hey, I guess this was it. Lord have mercy. I guess this was all it said. Interesting. But look, wait a minute. Do you see this? The judge used it in 1968. Hold on. Let me pull this up for y'all. Let's read the Northwest Ordinance. Hey, this is girl Gladys Knight, and she's singing a song called Our Love. Not Natalie Cole's Our Love, her vision. Running through the storm, our love is like a river flowing on and on. It's as deep as the ocean, high as the sky. Sorry, it's from her album. Is it Just For You? I think the album is called Just For You. It's been a long, not a long time. No, it doesn't give it to me, but Just For You, the album done right about 1996, if I was not mistaken. Let's get back to this. Produced by Babyface Edmonds, whatever his name is. Anyway, Northwest Ordinance 1787. Northwest Ordinance adopted July 13, 1787 by the Second Continental Congress, chartered a government for the Northwest Territory, provided a method for admitting new states of the Union. Second Continental Congress, ladies and gentlemen, the Congress that created the so-called Constitution for the United States of America. Pay attention. Provided a method for admitting new states to the Union from the territory and listed a Bill of Rights guaranteed in the territory. Excuse me, what territory? All those other states. Okay, following the principles outlined by Thomas Jefferson in the Ordinance of 1784, ladies and gentlemen, I would go look at the Ordinance of 1784. The authors of the Northwest Ordinance, probably Nathan Dane and Rufus King, spelled out a plan that was subsequently used as the country expanded to the Pacific. See, so it includes all those other lands. The following three principal provisions were ordained in a document: a division of the Northwest Territory into no less than 3, no more than 5 states, and 3-stage method of admitting new states into the Union, with a congressionally appointed governor, secretary, and 3 judges to rule in the first phase, and elected assembly. Ladies and gentlemen, pay attention. Where's this 3-judge rule? Is that not called a tribunal? My bad. An elected assembly and 1 non-voting delegate to Congress to be elected in the second phase, when the population of the territory reached 5,000 free male inhabitants of full age. Pay attention, free male inhabitants of full age, not females, but they specifically said free male inhabitants. Ladies and gentlemen, we ain't got no more slaves. And a state constitution to be drafted and membership to the Union be requested in the third phase, when the population reached 60,000, and a Bill of Rights protecting religious freedom and the right to a writ of habeas corpus and the benefit of a trial by jury and other individual rights. In addition, the ordinance encouraged education and forbade slavery. Pay attention. Hold on so that y'all get it. The ordinance forbade slavery. The reason why it forbade slavery, remember, it was the North. When I told you, you need to pay attention to me when I talk, people, because y'all don't be paying attention to me. Y'all know I be knowing what I'm talking about. Y'all know I ain't talking out the side of my neck or at the side of your anus, okay? So let me get the message across to you. I told you when the Constitution was signed, it only respected free people. This one specifically said males. That's why women had to fight for the right to vote. But somebody of color ain't never had to fight for no right to no vote, because this didn't recognize slavery. So why in the world could those other states be admitted? Is it possible that they are not admitted? A copy of the ordinance on this site is a printed document dated in the last paragraph and signed by the Secretary of the Congress, Charles Thompson. Interesting. It says a copy of this document, but I know this can't be the same document, ladies and gentlemen, because it refers to the document. It isn't the actual document. See, this is the document. Okay, this is the document. So let's see if we can get that to be pulled up. Y'all know who that is, y'all. Come on, y'all. Y'all know who this man is. This man been around for a long time. They done took him out of the mix and everything, but he's still around, ain't he? Letting everybody know. This is the ordinance, y'all. We ain't gonna read this. This is too much reading. And look at it. Look at how the pages are. So let's no, I don't want to do that. Hey, Bobby, would you go ahead and let them know how much you want to love them? He said it, y'all. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I would love to take this document, but you know what we're going to do? I got one better. I like this. I'm going to suggest that you guys go over it because I like the way the document, if it says no slavery, remember, this is a document setting out how other states were being admitted into the Union. If there was no slavery, some of you will pick up on what I'm saying. If this document forbade slavery, then I would be going at the issues of reparations. I would be going at the issues of unconstitutionality of slavery and how that those states that permitted it are the ones that are responsible for the reparations. Not the companies that did it, but the states that permitted it. And they do not have any immunity because when you violate the law in the first place, when you violate a constitutional right, you don't get to possess immunity. Just that simple. Just that simple. It really is just that simple. So hold on, let me find the full text of that document. Because I don't care about no evolution or no government. Be one more second. Because I need to find, watch this. Do you see that one down there that talked about slavery? Hold on. Watch this. See this? Somebody else already had it. Somebody else already figured out where I was headed. That's why I said some people will get what I'm trying to say. This document said no slavery. So there is no such thing as some stupid law that says blacks don't have a right to do this and blacks don't have a right to do that and Mexicans don't have a right to do this and Hispanics don't have the right to do this and Latin don't have the right to do this and Caucasians have the right to do that. There is no such law, people. This is it. So I don't want virtual, but we picked up the one about slavery, outlaw slavery in the new territories. All the territories were new, including the Louisiana Purchase. So people should be bringing this document into the fore because this document was the original intent of the founding fathers. Okay? Just want to tell y'all, slavery and involuntary servitude were forbidden in the Northwest. Ladies and gentlemen, did you see how they said slavery and involuntary servitude was forbidden in the Northwest? That's a lie. Slavery and involuntary servitude was forbidden throughout the United States. Why? Because these were the first states, the 13 so-called colonies. And every other state who was admitted had to have these provisions in their laws. So let's get the text so y'all can see. Richard! Hey, Mr. Richard Marks, he wants to let you guys know that he'll be right here waiting for you. He does sound like Bryan Adams a little bit to me. Wherever you go, whatever you do, I just want you to know I'll be right here. I don't want a summary. Did I ask you for a summary? Do you see what it's doing to me? This is Google. Smoogle, Google, Oogle, Moogle. That's what it does. I can't go there because they have the document, but I want the actual text. So let's see if I get my archive.org. I would be surprised if archive.org doesn't have it. And I'd be surprised if they didn't know about this ordinance. Okay. Let's see. I don't want definition. I don't want summary. I don't want significance because nobody gets to tell me what the significance of the document is. I can read the document for myself and see what its significance is. The document covered all territory and all future territory. Future territories. Okay? And especially if the territory met the 3 phases of becoming part of the Union. You'll see that those 3 phases are still in place to this day. It's just the 60,000 so-called members of the population issue has changed. See, they keep trying to give us, and then they want to do the map of the territories. Excuse me? It covered everyone. It says read the text. No session. Apportionment text. Apportionment text. What was important? Piece of legislation. Okay, let's go here for a second because it tells me that there is a text there. So I'm going to go there because I think it might work. But again, I'm showing you this because the court. Now you'll say, well, that was a court over there in Credit River. Okay, and over there in Minnesota and Massachusetts and them areas. No, ladies and gentlemen, it applied to all states coming into the Union. You see, they could not become part of the United States unless they agreed to the provisions of this ordinance, which has not been abolished. How do you know it's not been abolished? Because the judge in Credit River said that he was standing on the foundation of this particular ordinance. That's how I know. That's why I'm singling it out, ladies and gentlemen, so that you get it, because many people don't get it. Well, I do my research. No, when I do research, I'm looking for things. I've already showed you two things, the one by Thomas Jefferson and this one here. Thomas Jefferson, I'll probably pick that up the next time. But here, the main focus was this. Why? Because they said the Constitution of the United States. You see where states is upper lowercase? That's because the judge wrote this order. And the Constitution and laws. See, he says Constitution and the laws of the state of Minnesota, not inconsistent therewith. Not inconsistent therewith. The laws of Minnesota, no, the Constitution of the United States. It can't be inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States because they have to comply with the Northwest Ordinance, and the Northwest Ordinance had to comply with the Declaration of Independence. He listed it in order the way it's supposed to be. That's on purpose. You know what? I think I can handle this. You know, it's unbelievable though. And it's undeniable. Okay. The Supreme Court recognized the authority of the Northwest Ordinance of 1789 as constitutional in Strader versus Graham, 1851. Implementation of Northwest Ordinance, 2016. Ladies and gentlemen, it's not up to the Supreme Court to recognize the constitutionality. It was part of the Constitution, people. See, once the Constitution was approved in 1789, the United States Congress made major changes such that the President, with the advice and consent of the United States Senate and the power to appoint the governor and officers of the territories instead of Congress. In addition, the power of removal was given exclusively to the office of the President. See, the President can remove a governor, no one else. Because the governors, you think the people appoint the governors. Not true. The President appoints the governors for the states. In August 7, 1789, President George Bush and George Washington signed the Northwest Ordinance, I'm kidding, into law. Okay? That's a constitutional law. That's a legitimate law. That's not a corporation law, people. All right. This is probably why Lincoln patterned his 10% plan to bring the rebellious Confederate states back into the Republic after the Northwest Ordinance. Interesting, ain't it? He had a constitutional de jure, one Supreme Court ruling that its implementation was constitutional. See, constitutional de jure, one Supreme Court ruling. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. I need to know this right here. We're gonna go down a rabbit hole. Okay, hold on, copy. The reason why I am picking this up because it says one Supreme Court. I do believe that we need to be petitioning the Supreme Court. Even with my federal lawsuit, I'm going to be presenting my lawsuit to the Supreme Court and to the Federal District Court. Federal District Court more than likely play games. It's the one with the Supreme Court that I'm looking for because I'm coming in under common law. And as I told people, when I filed before, I filed it in the state, but I went through the Supreme Court who sent it. Ooh, doggy, I went way too far. Y'all see that right there? That ain't, that's not what I was copying. I'm not copying that. Gimme. Let's do this. Somebody help that man with his counting, because he can only go as far as 3. See? Somebody help that man with his counting. 3. See? Let's see if he does 4. Oh, he does 4. Let's see if he does 5. Oh, he did all the way up to 5, but he stopped. Oh, that must mean he's ready for kindergarten, because they learn how to count to 5 before they go to kindergarten. So he's going to start back at 1 because he messed up. That's what he gets for taking so long to get there. Ladies and gentlemen, it won't let me copy. Is this a locked? No, yeah, this is a locked document. That's why it won't let me copy. It won't let me copy because it's a locked document. Shame on it for blocking me from copying. For those of you who don't know how to do this, if you get a locked document, and this one is locked, when I downloaded it, it came downloaded as locked, meaning it has a password on it, which won't allow me to edit it because it's locked. I'm going to unlock it in front of you, but you see that little spinning ball? It's spinning, mama, just around in a circle. Well, that's interfering. So what you're going to do, pay attention. We're not going to do it to my Hewlett-Packard. What you're going to do is you're going to go to PDF. Where's my PDF? Microsoft PDF. There it is right there. Sorry. Looked right over it. Okay. Come on now. Come on now. What, tonight, tomorrow, next week? Okay. We're going to make a PDF of that file. Now, the problem is, I should have been paying attention because I don't know where the file went, but I believe it's in my download folder. Let's do both. Let's go here. No, this says Northwest Ordinance. I'm in the wrong folder, that's why. Let's go downloads. And I got to get rid of this junk right here. No, we get rid of you too, because I don't need that junk. No, they want to celebrate, y'all. Wait a minute, hold on. I didn't ask for that. Are you sure? Yes. An error occurred. How could you occur an error when I'm telling you exactly what I want to do? Okay, take care of that and get out of here. Okay, because didn't do it the first time. We're going to do it one more again. Tonight. All right, let's see if it pulls up. Now, that's just me stopping there. And you notice I haven't even read the whole thing. I just saw, oh, and I'm still going to have to copy this, ladies and gentlemen. It's not letting me copy. And I don't want to select all. I don't want to print that. It says go to, but it won't let me go to that. So select text. See, it allows me to do that. I don't want to take a snapshot. I want to copy, but it won't let me. And I just hit the open button and it won't let me. So let me close this. And we told you all about the United States Mortgage Guarantee Insurance Company. Okay, this is a United States company that's insuring mortgages. All mortgages have insurance. We done told y'all that. They only claim they only do partial mortgages. That's a lie. Because it's all government obligations. If the United States owns it, they have to insure it. It's called owner responsibility. You guys should know about that general principle, for it's based on that principle, which by they say you must pay auto insurance or homeowners insurance. This is their game. We're going to open with PDF Exchange. But it ain't opening, y'all. We got to wait for that little spinning ball to stop spinning. It's spinning, mama. So y'all hold on while I pull that up. It's going to be another song on by the time we come back. But hey, didn't have to do that. Did not have to do that. Look at this. We got our de jure Supreme Court. That's what I know. I could have just typed it in, but it's still locked. Hold on now. Hold on. Wait a minute. Uh-oh. Hold on. Got to get rid of that. This is Luther, 1987 Philippine Constitution also explicitly grants the Supreme Court the power of judicial review over laws and executive actions. Supreme Court is composed of, nobody asked, I asked for one Supreme Court. Oh, did you see that? I want you to pay attention. Remember, look, I need you guys to understand, and that's why I'm saying what I'm saying. So those of you who know anything about law, pay attention. I don't want to hear it. Pay attention. Yeah, I know many of y'all think y'all know more. The Constitution says the judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court, and in such inferior courts as Congress may from time to time ordain and establish. Ladies and gentlemen, the judicial power is in the Supreme Court of the United States. I'm going to be petitioning the Supreme Court, asking them to forward my presentment to the appropriate court under its judicial power, because that's the judicial branch of government. But in such inferior courts as Congress may from time to time establish and ordain. Didn't they establish the district courts? No, they did not. They established the circuit court. Go back and look at the so-called, what's the name of that stupid thing? Judiciary Act of 1789, September 24th. They established the circuit courts. Oh, by the way, some of you guys are not going to pay attention. I'm hoping some of you do, but I know most of you are not going to pay attention. I know for a fact most of you are not going to pay attention. So let me help you pay attention to this. Did you hear Donald Trump say that he was pulling out of the accord for the so-called Iran nuclear sanction agreement, where Iran said we ain't gonna be doing no more nuclear nothing? Okay. Wait. Despite over 20 years of constitutional government, much remains unclear about the power of the political branches to curtail or redefine the judicial power of the United States. Of course, that is exactly the point. This document, the book, is actually called One Supreme Court, and it's by James Pathfinder. I know it's just Fander. Okay, I know it's just Fander, but P-Fander? Frander? That's, you'd have a twisting tongue. Rimamaru. Luther, I can't hear you anymore. What happened? Hold on, y'all. We got to find out what happened to Luther. Yeah, Luther gone, y'all. And that's him live. And Luther shouldn't be gone. I should be able to hear my Luther. We got 30 going on, so get to 30. All right, 29 is okay. This is Usher talking about you got it bad. Somebody got it. He needs to give it back to him. Okay. Let's see. I think the reason why I'm focusing on One Supreme Court is because the artist, formerly known as, this artist, no, not him. Let's open it back up. I got to open it back up, y'all. This right here. All right. I'm going to unlock it because I got no other choice. I'm doing it wrong. I'm supposed to save as, but it's not going to let me, so I do have to print it. Come on now. I believe that the artist who wrote about the de jure, nope, it's not. I thought it would be this guy, but it's not. It says he had a constitutional de jure one Supreme Court ruling. That's what the issue is. So let's see. Let's get rid of all of that junk so that we can just do it. And come on now. It's just hanging up because of you guys, because it don't normally do that. So I'm thinking this ain't it, because that's 107. I just did it at 21 after. So we're going to put it, no, we're not going to put it there. We're going to put it here. we'll put it here, and we got one. To have you, girl, I want you to know I really adore you. To all my brothers who know what's going on, look at you, man. Help me sing my song. Said I'm your man, you're my girl. I gonna tell it to the whole wide world. Sorry, I used to mess that up all the time, but I didn't mess it up today. I gotta wait for it to finish. You see, it ain't finished yet. So as soon as it finishes, we'll be able to pull it up and I'll be able to show you what I need to show you with this stupid ordinance. So it'll be just 1 second. Oh, you got it, stupid. That's right. Let's do desktop, and then we're gonna come right back. And to miss your day without your friends, you call out so tight. You know you got it bad when you're stuck in the house. You don't want to have fun. That's all you think about. You got it bad. Okay. I haven't heard the song in a long time. And by the way, I will admit it. When this song first came out, I went and bought this album. Now, what you guys don't understand, those of you who are not getting it, while I pull up this document, yes, I'm just talking till I can pull it up. With those of you, you may, and see, it's not what you call it anymore. So right now, I can do this. I can edit. I can select text. No, we're going to do edit. See? I can edit the document now. Before, I couldn't. But the bad part about it is the way it is, that's how it is. It did it every block. Okay, that's horrible. Okay, but if I convert it to Microsoft, I'll have the document. But that's not what I'm looking for. What I was looking for was this section right here. So let's go back to select comment. Okay. Let's see if that'll do. Nope, that one won't do. Select text. This one is different from the original one that I have, so it's not letting me do it, dude. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the one Supreme Court issue. Okay, it said that the individual had a constitutional de jure one Supreme Court ruling that its implementation was constitutional. They brought the matter before the Supreme Court of the United States of America. They did not bring the matter before the United States Supreme Court. Do you understand that? The Supreme Court for the United States of America is the appropriate court. Okay? And so I believe that we need to be going to the one Supreme Court. And we need to be highlighting that. The Supreme Court of the United States of America, and be letting them know that that's exactly, and I said, and be letting them know, that's right, I do ebonics and ephonics and etonics all at the same time. Whereas on August 7, 1789, the First Congress of the United States, under the Constitution of the United States of America, transferred the administration of the ordinance of the government of the territories of the United States northwest of the River of Ohio Ordinance, Northwest Ordinance, when it was codified into law by 1 Statute 50 to the office of the President. So this is still in effect. It's being ran by the President's office. In the case of appointments, the authority of the President was tempered with the advice and consent of the Senate. That's why the Senate has to confirm the nominations of the President. So the President couldn't just set up a monopoly. Okay? All right. Summary of sections. Be it ordained by the United States Congress assembled that the said territory for the purpose of temporary government be one district. So the district at this time did not mean the District of Columbia. Yes, it did. Okay. So the said territory for the purpose of temporary government. Well, when did they establish a permanent government. February 21st, 1871. It's called the 1871 Act. The district is created a government for a permanent seat of government for the United States. The government prior to that was temporary. They made clear that everybody knew it was temporary. It remained temporary for almost 100 years. Temporary. Subject, however, to be divided into two districts as future circumstances may, in the opinion of Congress, make it expedient. Well, of course, it's been divided into 1 district, 2 district, 3 district, 4 district, 5 district, 6 district, the District of California, District of Puerto Rico, District of Arizona, District of Memphis, District of Tennessee, District of Chicago, District of Clementine University. Doesn't matter, whatever it is, they created a district out of it. It's been divided. Covers the entire concept of just divisions of estates and inheritance, the validity and the legitimacy of authentic wills, and the protection of fair and lawful transfer of property among people. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all gonna thank me, y'all gonna thank me, y'all gonna thank me. Go and get a copy of this ordinance and focus on that. Let's get my highlighter. Give me my highlighter, because I'm gonna be coming back to this. Where you at, highlighter? Come on, highlighter. No, wait a minute. It ain't gonna highlight. It won't let me highlight, y'all. It's supposed to be highlighting. Come on now. Highlight. I can't highlight, y'all. It won't let me highlight. Shame on this computer. Shame on you. Shame on you. Sitting up here not highlighting. Well, anyway, ladies and gentlemen, the whole issue is your property rights. That's the whole issue. Your right to property. Remember, the original Constitution was made under, pay attention. Remember, oh, by the way, pay attention. The Republic for the United States of America, not the democracy. It is the Republic for the United States of America. It's always been that way. All right. Congress shall appoint a governor who must own 1,000 or more acres of land. Excuse me? The governor is the person who owned the most land? That's what it said, people. Haven't you noticed the governors are some of the richest people in the entire state? Prevailing sentiment is that if one does not have enough interest in the country to invest in it by owning property, he is not fit for leadership. Only property owners can hold office. Did you see that? If you were poor, you could not own or hold office, excuse me. The secretary must own at least 500 acres, and the 3 judges are appointed, any 2 of whom may form a court. Ladies and gentlemen, did you understand that? 2 judges form a court. Again, the court is not the building, it's the institution. That's why they call it a tribunal. Every judge must own at least 500 acres. This hasn't been repealed, people. The governors and judges must adopt and publish common laws and report their operation to the General Assembly for review. People, pay attention. I did not write this. Okay? I've never seen this before today. But when I'm looking over things, this is the stuff I see. Okay? This still holds true today. Is the governor not the commander-in-chief of the militia? The National Guard is a militia. Okay? Then it says the governors shall establish the differentiation between civil and criminal laws and establish a division between former Indian land. Ladies and gentlemen, hold on a second. Hold on. Let me make sure y'all understand something. The governor establishes the difference between criminal and civil laws? The governor can't do that. That's Congress that does that. But this was before the state had a Congress and a Senate, even though they later required them to have a Congress and a Senate. But this was the way it was, people. The governor made the laws. Interesting, ain't it? Well, he didn't actually make the laws. He established what made it civil, what made it criminal. Okay? Once the district contains 5,000 free males, okay, they can select representatives. One for every 500 free male until the total of representatives is 25 is reached. A representative must own at least 200 acres and be a resident for 3 years. So you could not be Poe, because if you didn't own land, you could not be invested. Okay? Interesting, huh? All officers must take an oath, and if there is no oath, there is no office. I love that right there. If there is no oath, there is no office. Where's your oath of office? If there is no oath, there is no office. Where is your oath of office? States newly formed out of the territories entered into the Union on equal footing with existing states. Perpetual binding consent. The rights enumerated in the following articles cannot be given or negotiated away. Did you hear it? I didn't say it. Did you hear that they do not have the authority to suspend the Constitution? This is a perpetual binding consent by each one of the states, including Congress, not to ever take away those rights. So the Act of March 9, 1933, unconstitutional. Why is it unconstitutional? Because the Supreme Court said that this act was constitutional. The one Supreme Court. Do not mess with me. Sorry, I apologize. Some of you guys are not getting this, and it's okay. But some of you are getting it, and you're pulling out your pen, and you're writing it down, and you're going and looking this up, and you're pulling up your own copy so you can read it for yourself. But here's the point. They cannot suspend habeas corpus. Habeas corpus can only be suspended during times of war or national crisis. No, habeas corpus, you have the body, trial by jury, common law, judicial procedures, bailable offenses, mandate fine, moderate fines, no cruel or unusual punishment, no man deprived of liberty or property, but by judgment appears in a court of law. Interesting, ain't it? Full compensation for property seized. Where's your compensation for them seizing your property by unlawful means? No law to affect private contracts. Again, the right to contract. No law can mess with your right to contract. But a contract can be invalid if it does not have consideration. This is what the judge in the Credit River case was relying upon. Okay? Religious morality and knowledge being necessary to good government and the happiness of mankind. Ooh, look at that. Happiness of mankind. Schools establish, education encourage Indians and Indian lands to be left undisturbed. Then why do they keep disturbing them Indians? Putting them casinos out there, thinking them people, and then putting that alcohol over there to keep them people submissive so they won't uprise. Once a state, always a state. No secession. Read the text. Look, the person who wrote this said, read the text. Apportionment tax. The United States can sell whatever property it wishes to without interference from the state. No tax, duty, or license to navigate the rivers. You don't have to have a license to navigate the rivers. You don't have to have a tax to navigate. Well, don't they charge you to navigate, y'all? Now, hold on. Number 6. No slavery or involuntary servitude in the territories, but slave escaping into the territories must be returned. Pay attention. So, no slavery or involuntary servitude in the territories of the United States. They'll say, well, no, that's the territories. No, that's all the territories, because this was a perpetual agreement. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to let you know. I'm just telling to you like a TIZ. This is a perpetual agreement. The rights enumerated in the following articles cannot be given or negotiated away. Remember, in order for a state to become part of this union, part of this agreement, they had to have inhabitants of at least 60,000 free people. And their delegates entered Congress are on an equal footing with who those other states. The new states must have a Republican law form. Do you understand? A Senate is what they're saying. So once a state enters, they remain a state perpetually. This is a perpetual agreement. So no slavery or involuntary servitude in the territories. It says if slaves escaping into the territories said they must be returned. Excuse me, sorry, hold on. It says slaves escaping into the territories. Are you considered a slave? Are you trying to escape into the territory to receive protections of this agreement? Of course not. You were born free. You received free. You were born free. I am a freeborn person. I have no idea what slavery is because I've never been one. I don't relate to it. It ain't my friend. All right, we're going to leave you on this. Just want to give you that to think about, give you that to marinate over. Also, we're going to be doing a short video in a moment. We're going to be talking about Donald Trump and Israel. I've started that conversation, but I want to keep that separate. I want you all to focus on this agreement, okay? I want you all to focus on this because it's still binding to this day. And I'm sorry it took me so long to show you how to unlock a document. When I did it the first time, it didn't print in PDF. Okay, I just opened it up from that document, but this didn't open up correctly. And so in order for me to be able to get the words, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to save as, and we're going to do this. We're going to find myself a folder to save it as in. Not save it as is, save it as in. Okay, and we're going to do this right here. Going to go down to DOCX. That's right, DOCX. Okay, and then we're going to do this. Now, when I do this, it's going to open up like Sesame Street. And when it opens up, then we'll be able to see the words. Now, this one should be able to pull up the words for the most part. I don't know about the top because the top has pictures. And because the top has pictures, it may be different. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Passenger. I got to see Passenger, a video of Passenger, and the other day. And it was, dang it, that one song that made Passenger a hit, Let Her Go. Okay, and I saw that song, and I saw him, and I heard his voice, and it's interesting that that's actually that man's voice. You're gonna need somebody. That's Passenger, everybody. I like Passenger. This is taking too long. Well, anyway, you're gonna convert it to Word as well, okay? So that you can edit it, pick it apart, tear it up. This is the actual document, but see, if you notice, this is just a photo. Somebody went and took a photo, and do you see how we can't really do nothing with it? Okay? Some idiot signed on the back. Morons, using that cheap paper. All that money, all that land, and they're using that cheap paper. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here's the thing so that you all get it. The fact that these idiots had to own thousands of acres of land, that lets you know that that was a control thing. Because most of the people couldn't own 1,000 acres because you couldn't maintain 1,000 acres without having money. The people who have acres now, let's just say it's amazing. So, but I do know that this document, I don't need that junk right there. This is still, let's cancel. Okay, we're gonna try it one more again before I move on. All right, let's do one more again because that should have happened faster. It's only 2 pages. 2 pages doesn't take that long. So that was really horrible that it stopped at 25. So it's still stopping at 25. So something must be wrong with the actual document. I'm going to leave that alone. I'm going to come back here. I am more focused on the one Supreme Court. The reason why I'm focused on the one Supreme Court is because that's the actual wording. The judicial power of the United States shall be vested in one Supreme Court, and in such inferior courts as Congress may from time to time. Pay attention. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe us filing our documents in a district court that we're intentionally filing our documents into a inferior court that has not been invested with such judicial power by Congress, that they've only been invested with administrative power. I believe that there is a mechanism for us to reach the one Supreme Court. And I even say we can submit it to that court via reference. Okay? And you remember, we keep talking about the Article 3. Article 3 is very important because that's where the judicial power is outlined. Okay? That's where you'll find that, I forgot the year, it was sometime around the 1800s where some judge, some idiot, decided to introduce what's called presumption of law. It was never part of the law. Some judge decided to take the affidavit maxim. You guys know about the affidavit maxim. Affidavit maxim is an unrebutted affidavit stands true. Well, presumption of law, an unrebutted presumption stands true. Okay, that's what they did. They played on the stupid word, thus leaving everybody else astray, thinking we have to rebut presumptions. Okay, I can give you my word that if you go back and you look at that document that we were just studying, the one that we were just going over, and I'm going to handle the one Supreme Court thing. Okay, I'm going to look for that because I'm going to be asking the Supreme Court to send our documents. By the way, real quick, those of you who are associated in any way with the lawsuit, the Defrauded Homeowners of America lawsuit, after I just hit up the United States Supreme Court, not Supreme Court, but the United States Second Court of Appeals, letting them know that since the Attorney General did not come into the case, they don't have a right to enter the case now. They want to enter the case on appeal. Can't do that. The issue is whether or not they receive notice and whether or not I can represent a group. So we're going to make this issue about that. But the court dismissed it, saying we never notified them. We're saying that we did notify them. We provided proof, but the clerk also notified them. They have been notified for the last 6 months. And when I said they've had plenty of time to come into this, all of a sudden now they want to come in. I wrote that way on purpose. Okay, please understand. I said that they had plenty of time to come into this, and they haven't. And since they haven't come in, that gives me the right to speak on behalf of the United States. They can't have that. So all of a sudden, now they want to come in. Now they want to speak up. Now they want to open their mouths. Nope, that ain't it either. Ladies and gentlemen, how did we lose our page? Oh, well, I guess I won't be going back to that page. Go back to the beginning of the video. Download that document, ladies and gentlemen. Go over it. Read the words. Okay? Read the words. Hey, this is the Credit River decision. So anyway, read the words, ladies and gentlemen, of that particular document. Okay, I assure you, when you're dealing with that one Supreme Court, when you're dealing with that law of the so-called 1887? Let's go up to the top. I do know that it's finished. Okay, Northwest Ordinance, July 13, 1787. Ladies and gentlemen, just put that in, the Northwest Ordinance, 1787. Okay, that's all you have to put in, and you got it. Okay, that's Curtis Mayfield in the background, y'all. Okay, he's just trying to get y'all attention, because sometimes y'all don't pay attention. I'm just seeing if the document pulled up so that I can show you what you will get if you were to convert it as well. So it did dock. It took a long time, but it did dock. It's only 1,700 kilobytes. Normally a document that size is like 18 to 30 kilobytes, 2 pages. But this one, choo doggy, is too much kilobytes, 1,700. That means that it's a photo. It's not a text. It's photo, because that's the only reason for it being that big. This is the lawsuit we're working on. Look, 96. So when I tell y'all, and I'm still nowhere near finished, people, I gotta polish this up, get rid of stuff, add stuff, take care of stuff. It's gonna be a minute, but we're all the way down to 97. Oh, I'm sorry. She's like the wind. Ladies and gentlemen, we're down to 97. If only you guys know, there's a lot more. You see this over here in the corner? Come on down here to the corner. See that little gap right there? There's a whole lot more than 97. Okay? Hey, y'all, she's like the wind. I felt very bad for Patrick when he died, ladies and gentlemen. You could see that cancer had really taken its toll on that man. But I will tell you this, I didn't like Ghost. Couldn't stand him in Ghost. Well, I couldn't stand the movie Ghost. He was all right. Was all right as an actor. But this song right here, as an actor, him singing this song, he's an actor. He ain't supposed to be able to sing. But he sang this song, and he did a wonderful job. Patrick Swayze, the late Patrick Swayze, ladies and gentlemen. Just a Fool to Believe. She's Like the Wind. And music in the background, excelente. All right. These are the actual articles, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to go to the original document when you get the chance to read the original text. This is not the original. You see the way this is? It's trying. So I'm going to have to give it time to catch up, but I'll be able to copy and paste the words because I need that stuff about the courts, about the common law, about the habeas corpus, about the freedom of religion. Because this applies even to the states who became part of the union, because it stipulated that if they became part of the union, they would have to agree to this agreement. And it's a perpetually binding agreement. Number 14. Whoever put this together knew what they were doing, because they highlighted number 14, then they go into the so-called freedoms. And by the way, do you know why religious freedom is always the number one on each one of the constitutions? Because the original pilgrims were not who you think they were. If only you knew who the original pilgrims were. I can tell you, but then you'll think there's prejudice. But if only you knew. The original pilgrims were escaping religious persecution. That's why the first thing they put in there was to appease those first members, those first groups. But by this time, you had landowners. Okay? You had the businessmen who came over here who used the British and their military to get rid of the Indians to take over the land. Okay, that's how you have the Northwest Territories. So when they came over, all Hades broke out. We don't want to do that no more. See, I can't be letting it do all that, because you see how it's doing every word. I can't be letting it do that. That's why I said it printed up in a document form. And that's why it took so long, because it was doing every single letter. That's why it took so long. All right, ladies and gentlemen, she's like the wind, and you'd be a fool not to believe that. Okay? You'd be a fool. That's Patrick Swayze. He's going to take us on out of here. Everybody, your grandmothers, your grandfathers, your grandbrothers, your granduncles, your grandcousins, your grandnieces, your grandnephews, all of you grands, have a grand day, grand life, grand night. Goodbye.